ever going to start this podcast you've been talking about for like forever?
Do you think that anyone will actually want to listen to something like this?
What is your plan for an introduction?
Are you sure you want to talk about these topics? People usually disagree.
3 hours? Are you crazy?
Do you think you're some kind of expert or something?
Are you planning to have an intro song?
What if a bunch of people get really mad and hate you over this?
Do you even know how to make a podcast?
Are you just doing this because you like to argue with people?
Don't let this be just one more thing that you talk about doing, but never actually do.
Wouldn't it be better to do just one episode for each topic?
Stop trying to change people's opinions. Just live your own life.
Dude, people are never going to agree. Just let it go.
Is this going to be a long intro? Because if it is, I'm bored already.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Guess what? It's happening. I did it. A podcast is a thing. And the good news? I really have no clue what I'm doing. But thankfully, I have many people helping me put this thing together. The idea for this is something that I've had bouncing around in my head for over 3 years now. I've always enjoyed having conversations with people, and even listening to others having conversations, so I thought it might be fun to share these discussions with others who may also enjoy listening to them. We have all heard the term, whatever you do, never talk about politics or religion, right? But why not? Why can't we talk about those things? Does it really need to be that dangerous? Is it possible for people to have discussions about topics that they disagree with without lowering themselves down to the level of name-calling and ignorant rebuttals? Is it possible for two people to strongly disagree about something and still be friends afterward? I believe so, and that's exactly what I hope to do with this podcast. This doesn't mean that you won't hear passionate arguments, but the hope is that the arguments can be made logically and civilly. I've always enjoyed learning about people's beliefs and the reasons behind those beliefs. These conversations are not going to be scripted or rehearsed. The only structure for this podcast, if any, is going to be attempting to stay within the realm of 3 main topic headings: music, politics, and spirituality. The 2 forbidden topics, with some music discussion thrown in for something a little more lighthearted. As I hit record at the beginning of each conversation, I really have no idea where it's going to go, but that actually makes it really fun. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but without the frustration of falling down a mine shaft or getting eaten by a zombie. If you're the kind of person who gets upset when another person shares a view that is contrary to yours, then this podcast might not be for you. I may say things that are triggering or upsetting to some. Please know that these are simply my opinions, and I am always open to correction. My hope is that you don't get triggered, but even if you do, I hope that you'll still push through the whole episode. Maybe you'll hear something that you agree with to go along with what you don't. Maybe you could take this as an opportunity to examine your view a little more deeply than you ever have. Maybe you come away with something new, something different, or maybe not. That's okay too. Maybe you can relate to something that one of us said. Maybe you disagree with an argument that was made, or maybe you have some questions and want something explored a little further. If so, let me know. It's going to be okay. We can get through this together. Just take a deep breath, open your mind, and dive in. Here are a few clips from the first 3 episodes. I hope you enjoy the conversation. It's racist, right?
To provide facts. It's racist.
It is. It is. I should be slapped. I should just be slapped and strung up because of my blatant racism.
No, he said some stuff that was racist, man. The Mexicans that they're only bringing their worst, you know, size of cantaloupes, man. Everyone rapes. Well, not everyone rapes. Every race group.
So what's
rapes,
the exact quote though? Because his quotes get totally messed
they're coming
up.
over.
That some rapists are coming over from Mexico.
No, that they're coming over. Wasn't it?
Okay, but did he say
over?
every person in Mexico is a racist? Is a rapist? Did he say?
Oh,
that?
now you're playing semantics, though, man. Oh,
it's not semantics.
It's semantics.
Is it true?
It's okay. Yes.
Are there rapists in Mexico?
Yes.
Have some of them come over here and raped women?
True. Yes. Same with whites here, blacks here.
Yes.
An age group.
Rapists are not.
Race group.
It doesn't matter what color you are. You're a rapist. You're a rapist.
Right. You're a rapist. Yeah.
And you should be shot, in my opinion.
So okay, but if we're gonna be
that's my stance. If you rape a woman, that's death penalty as far as I'm concerned. That's or molest a child, whatever. You're gone. I don't need you in our society. I don't care what color you are. That's absolutely not okay.
Yeah, I agree. But if we're gonna go down to let's take a look at the exact quote. And then did he say this and this? No, but the overall meaning or the overall thought behind the idea, the idea that he was expressing with this. Did he literally say that
But see, that's the problem, right? So you're taking. I'm not being semantic. You're taking a quote.
Yeah.
And you're applying what he meant by that quote.
Yeah.
When he didn't see, we have to look at what he said. That's a problem.
Oh, come on, dude.
That's a problem, dude, because you really, if you're honest with yourself, you have no idea what he meant by that quote. You are not him.
Let's bring up the quote.
Let's say my wife believed in abortion.
Okay.
And we got pregnant. She got pregnant from me. And I said, I don't want you to kill the baby. I don't want, and she says, no, my religion says that as long as I do it before this certain time, I can do it. And then I say, well, that to my religion, I'm using your wording.
Right.
To my religion, it says that no, it's a life. That's my child from the moment of sperm to egg. That's my kid.
You're murdering my kid.
Now the state or whoever is going to look at that and go, no, you don't have any rights as the dad. You have no rights at all. Why? Because it's in her body.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that will, and I know there's a lot of people that are going to be listening to this and already thinking to themselves, how does he even have the right to, I mean, he's a man. He has no right to even be talking about this. How dare him? I mean, blah, 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 blah.
I'd like to see him get pregnant and see how that goes.
So stupid and so irrelevant to what I'm saying. So it's something that I've never quite understood. First of all, I don't understand the argument, but let me say what I was going to say first. I don't understand why just because something is being housed, like the baby's being housed in the woman and not the man,
that it's her choice and not his.
Somehow that makes it more her choice, her responsibility, But then what's the number one argument that's always made? And I've raised this before, but people say what? My body, my choice.
Yeah.
Right? Don't tell me what I can do with my body, right? And it usually has the word man in there somewhere. No man's going to tell me what I can do with my body, right?
Yeah.
And I've brought this up multiple times because I think it's a straw man argument.
But yeah, it's just like we as Christians also need to realize that we also aren't like the holders of all truth. Mm-hmm. We don't know everything.
Right.
Sometimes we meet non-Christians that have really good points that absolutely demolish our arguments.
Yeah.
And it's because they're right. Mm-hmm. And it's because we didn't know the truth the first time.
Yes.
And we need to not be like, oh, I believe this thing and like it applies to you, but not to me. You know? And
so what does that do to somebody like you though? I'm guessing if you're like me, it makes you go look into it. Right?
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
They brought up a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't have an answer for that. I'm going to look into the point they're making. Maybe I'll come away from it and be like, wow, they were totally right. I'm going to abandon this whole Christianity thing and move on to something else, right? Because they proved me wrong, right? That could be. Yeah, but you like Breaking Bad because you relate. I mean, because you also have a meth lab in your house, right?
Of course, because I'm Mexican. Oh, of course. Oh, he's brown.
He's not. Hey, he wasn't. Walter White's not Mexican. His last name's even White. Come on, man.
Dude.
You don't get any whiter than that.
Here's the thing, man. When I experience racism, you can't tell me my experience of that racism is wrong because, no, it is racism. What you just did was racism.
It depends.
It was violent.
It depends.
It was violence, too.
Okay, let's go into that then.
Here's how this goes for feminists, in my view.
Which we need to classify what we mean by feminism, because even there's many feminists that would be at odds with each other, but they would both characterize themselves as feminist.
Sure. So I would consider myself to be not a feminist, but an equalist. Okay. I think a lot of people, men and women in the feminist movement are seeking equal ground. Okay. Then there is that subsect of women who are self-proclaimed feminists because they hate men.
Right.
So they are pro-woman. I think generally I think of feminism as pro-woman.
Well, I'm pro-woman too.
Well, everybody should be. Especially since you're married to one and raising two.
Exactly.
Everybody should be. Just as women should be pro-man. Because that's how we get along.
Right.
But that's me in my brain with this equalist mentality.
Right.
So feminists that are pro-woman all the time, meaning anti-men, they're going to be the angry ones. I do think that is a subsect of feminists who have been scorned, or burned by coworkers, employers, boyfriends, fathers, brothers, schoolmates, right? Mm-hmm. And so they've grown this hard, crusty shell that is made up of men's, the way men have done them wrong.
Right.
And so then they're seeing the inequality in the world, mm-hmm. and they're saying, aha, I'm going to use that inequality as a launch pad for my feelings, for my emotions towards men. Mm-hmm. When really, I think that's not what most feminists are trying to do. I think what they're trying to do is to seek equal ground. So I think we should all be on a level playing field.
Do you think that almost like presidents feel like they have to say something? Because if a candidate got up there and said, "Oh, I worship Satan, I'm a devil worshiper,"
yeah.
I mean, right?
That wouldn't go over too well.
Right? Yeah, like even with non-Christians, they'd be like, "Yes, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't believe in God, but I don't know about that."
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, they have, and it's sad because they have to be really careful. And I almost wish they wouldn't. I wish they would almost just lay it all out for us and just let us pick who we think would best run the country.
I would like someone who is unapologetically atheist.
Yes.
As a president.
Yes.
If they're honest.
Correct.
Versus someone who's faking Christianity.
Right.
I don't want someone making people believe that's what a Christian is.
Yes. Yes.
If I have the choice, I'm going to pick the person that at least is honest about where they're at.
Right.
And I think that's the game you kind of juggle with Republicans and Democrats, right? Mm-hmm. You have to examine each one and say, are they really true to who they're saying they are?
Why do we still believe in the ancient Abrahamic gods? There's no logical reasons.
Good transition.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So tell me your spiritual beliefs. We'll go there next.
I grew up Catholic, cultural Catholic. I still...
Because your parents were, kind of thing?
Yeah. And it just goes back, if I was born in Kuwait, I would probably been a Muslim, because that's or in Israel, I would have probably been Jewish. I would have been Jewish.
Oh, is that wrong to say now? A Jew?
I'm being careful.
No, Ben Shapiro calls himself a Jew.
A Jew? Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds malicious coming from me. it being recorded.
You just wanted to cover your bases there. Tell everybody you're actually not anti-Semitic.
I'm not anti-Semitic. Yeah,
right.
If I was born in India or what have you, I would have been Hindu and stuff like that. So that's the way I see it. It's cultural. It's all. It's.
Do you see it all as cultural, or do you just saying in your own personal life it is?
If your church or your belief or your family, your culture, and your upbringing says that abortion is a sin, then don't get an abortion.
Right.
Don't tell me I can't get one.
Yeah.
You're pushing your belief on me.
Well, okay. Let me paint a different picture for you.
Okay.
Let's say we're in our society.
Here we are.
Okay. And I decide that I want to kill my 11-year-old son.
Okay.
Do you have the right to stop me? Or does that fall under the, Cindy, don't you tell me what I can do with my own kid? Because if I want to kill my 11-year-old son, you don't kill your own 11-year-old son, Cindy, but I'm going to kill mine. There's nothing you can do about it. Or do you think you have a right to try to stop me?
I have a moral obligation to stop you, but that is my personal choice.
What do you mean? Your personal choice?
My moral. That's my morals.
Right, but do you have a right to impose your moral on me?
No.
You don't?
No.
You think I should be allowed to kill my kid?
No, I don't. You asked me if I have the right to stop you.
Okay, so that's what I mean. So you don't think I should do it.
Correct.
But if I'm going to do it, you're not going to try to stop me.
Okay. My morals, I will stop you. But that doesn't mean that I'm any more right than you are.
I think you should stop me, by the way. I totally agree with that. If I'm trying to kill my kid, I do think you should stop me.
I will try to stop you.
Right.
It's just really interesting to see that perspective. because then I can adjust the way I talk to people who think that and say like, no, it's not, it's not, half the world's not condemning you. Mm-hmm. It's yourself condemning you, mm-hmm. right? You have this thing in front of you. You have your life in front of you, and you can either make the choice to follow yourself and like what you want to do and just kind of push into the back of your mind the feeling of like not having a purpose, right, or not having like something to hold on to, not having someone to love you truly. Mm-hmm. You could push those things off, or you can turn and say, no, I really do want to find out what is my purpose. Like, right. I do want to be loved. I want to find out, mm-hmm. and God can bring you to Him through that. And so I think it's, people's misconceptions is like Christians just say, oh, here's all these rules. If you don't follow these rules, like, sorry, but you're going to hell. Right. No bad feelings or anything, but like, yeah, you're going to burn in eternity. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's a bizarre thing to think about.
Hey, thanks for checking out these snippets. I hope you enjoyed this small taste of what's in these conversations. Tune in next week to hear all of episode 1.